right, welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. With me, as always, got my partner in crime, BFC, Butler's Fighting Crew. And with us today, we got another very special guest in the building, former Butler Bulldog, now G League champion, Jalen Thomas. Jalen, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just chilling. Been
Good,
out.
man. Good. Yeah. So appreciate you hopping on with us. It's always exciting to talk to some of the former dogs and see what they've been up to ever since their Butler days. And definitely wanted to catch up with you because a lot of the guys that we've talked to went more like the overseas route and stuff, and we're excited to hear kind of like the G League route and how that's been working out for you. So
Yeah.
maybe diving into that right off the bat, kind of just like describe to us that process. You know, you're done with Butler. You know, you're looking forward to what you're going to do. Like, how did everything come to be? I know you were first with the Windy City Bulls, I think then Stockton Kings, right? So kind
Yeah,
of talk to us about your past year.
yeah, for sure. Just coming out, I didn't really know what was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna go to the G League. I just didn't know like what team and like when. Like I didn't know the process. Obviously, being my first year, so really, I had a couple workouts. I worked out with the Bulls G League team, and then I went to locally. I'm from Detroit, so I went to the Pistons one too, and played well in both of those. So that's what it came down to, those two teams. And then ultimately, my agent, he got me in with the Bulls, really. So I went to their workout or whatever. They really liked me. So they told me, like, oh, we'll take you in, kind of invite you to training camp, and, you'll be in the team. So going into training camp, I already knew I was going to be with the Bulls. Now, granted, they made maybe like, I want to say 5 or 6 cuts, like cut like 5 or 6 players. So, but no, I knew going in I was on the team already. So like I still played like as if there's a possibility I could get cut, but it was a good experience, going there. And then in terms of the season, like it was up and down. I was playing at first, playing a lot really, because me and I don't know if you remember Sanogo from UConn.
Yeah, yes, I remember
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah,
All
yeah,
too well.
yeah. He was on there. He was on a two-way though, so
Yeah.
he was up and down with Bulls and the G League team, so he was already there. So it was really me and him playing. Like basically, he would go up, I would play, or he would be down, I'd play with him. So, and then like during the season, like first 3 games in, I got a double double early. Like that was one of the first games, and then after that, I just stopped playing. There's a lot of politics that goes into that. So then I started playing again with the Bulls, but then they started using me more at the four because I was playing the five. But then they started realizing I could shoot. So I started playing at the four with them, and then Sacramento came in the picture, and it was crazy. I never can't get traded into college, so like just coming in
Yeah.
after practice, they were like, "Yo, like JT, the coach want to talk to you." I was like, "All right, cool, like that's normal." Like I talked to the head coach 1-on-1 plenty of times, so I was like, "Bet." So then and then I go. So we had practice. I get off the court. I'm shooting around a little bit, and then I see one of the staff members again, and I was like, "Where's he at?" He's like, "In the back." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I go into his office. I open the door. I see the GM. I was like, "Damn!" I see the GM, the coach, and then like operators, basketball ops guy. So I'm like, "Dang!" Like, there's no way I'm about to get cut because normally, like, they cut a few guys during the season too. So I was like, damn, no, I'm about to get cut, bro. So then, like, he started talking, and he was like, oh, like, the Kings presented a trade, like, they want you. And, other teams have been reaching out all season, but, like, we wanted to keep you, really. And it was just like, I wasn't playing there either. So it was just like, I guess other teams, like, needed bigs. So, like, they said they'd been reaching out. And then they told me Sacramento was one of the choices. And I knew about them a little bit. I knew they were good, like their record, but I didn't really know much, like who's on the team or like anything like that.
Yeah.
But they told me that. I was like, dang, it's crazy. So they was like, yeah, man. So we're gonna send you over there. It was an opportunity we couldn't pass up on. And I was like, dang, I didn't even know what to say. Like, I was just thanking them. I just thanked them or whatever for having me on the team. And then that was that. And then I was frustrated at first because I was like, dang, like the season was almost over, bro. Like, this was All-Star breaks in February. So like this was like right after All-Star break, basically.
Yeah.
And our season ended April. Like we went to the championship, so it was a little longer. But most teams ended like end of March. So like if you didn't make the playoffs, it was the end of March. So we basically practically had like a month and a half left, like at this time. So I'm like, dang, like why? Like the season almost over, and I had to pack all my stuff. I just hate packing. So I was in a hotel room, so like I didn't bring everything, but I had a lot of stuff because I was there for 5 months. So it was
Right.
like. I got there in October, November, and left in February. So it was like, dang.
Yeah.
So pack all my stuff up. I was in Sacramento like 2 or 3 days later. I had to drive my car back home because Chicago is not that far from Michigan. So it was like a 4 or 5 hour drive. Drive back
Yeah.
home. They fly me back out to Sacramento. You know, it was a long flight being 3 hours behind. So, it was a
Yeah.
long trip. So I get over there. It's just crazy because like then I just always wonder like how guys pack up this stuff and be somewhere the next day. And imagine like having a house or something. Like I couldn't imagine
Right.
that. I had like a hotel room, so that wasn't bad. But yeah, I get
Yeah.
over there. I get over there. We went to Sacramento with the Bulls, so I kind of knew about the facility. They had like better facilities and everything than Chicago. Like it was a better situation. So it was one of those times where luckily like I actually got upgraded to like a better team, better like place. So it was actually better
Hey,
for
hey,
me.
hey, calm down, man. I'm a Chicago boy here. Come on. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Man,
Come
we
on now.
wasn't even in
Come on. No,
Chicago.
no.
We was in
I'm playing.
where
I'm
Schaumburg?
playing. What you say?
You know where Schaumburg is?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wasn't even in. That's where we were at. Like
Oh,
we
you were
went.
in Jumper? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's like 30 minutes.
It's outside the city. Yeah.
Yeah, so like with traffic, it was forever. We went to practice at the Bulls like practice facility a couple times, and it took like forever to get there. So
Yeah.
like, it,
Yeah.
so yeah, we wasn't even in Chicago. Like I didn't really get to experience Chicago, honestly,
Gotcha.
being in Schaumburg. So like, but anyway, yeah. So we got traded to Sacramento, and I went over there. I actually started like right off the bat, basically. Well, the first game I sat out because I just got there, so I didn't really know anything. And then I started three straight games over there because the big man on that team, Scal, he got called up to the NBA team for 10 days. So I was over there playing a lot. And then he came back and me and him started splitting minutes. And then there was another situation where I just stopped playing. So, and we
Yeah.
get to the like end of the season. Basically, it was already at end. I played like maybe like 10, 15 games with them.
Yeah.
But so we got to the playoffs and I stopped playing basically. But we were winning, so like it wasn't really nothing to complain about. And then obviously we won the championship. So it was a
Yeah.
good experience to be a part of that, and being the champ. I wanted to win the championship in college, even as hard as that is. Maybe even a Big East one at least, but then we got through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But just winning at this level, it was a good experience for sure. So,
So looking forward to next year, are you still contracted with the Kings, or how does that work then?
oh yeah, so with the G League it's 1 year. So
Okay.
you go to the team 1 year, but they have your rights. So my rights were over Windy City, and then they traded me to Sacramento or
Gotcha.
Stockton. So now my rights are with Stockton.
Okay.
So if I were to go to another team, like I basically would have to be traded. But he has the contract's a 1 year, and then next G League season you sign another one. So
I got you. I got you.
yeah,
So is the plan for you then? Is that the plan?
yeah. The plan is to go to summer league with them, and then
Yeah.
hopefully play well in that,
Yeah.
and then try to get on with a NBA team like a
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
training camp deal or something like that, and then just go up from there. But summer league's the first step for sure.
For sure. For sure. And then what are maybe like obviously there's like you already touched on some of it, like
Mhm.
trades and stuff. Like that's it's obviously way different than the college game. Like that doesn't happen. Although with the transfer portal these days, you almost could say it does. Like just like
Yeah,
people move around everywhere. But like what would you say are maybe like some of the biggest differences, maybe just even like on the court or just lifestyle wise, you
yeah,
know, college versus pro.
yeah, sure. Well, I'll start on the court for sure. It's definitely different. It's the pace, man. Like a lot of people say, like Creighton plays fast,
Yeah.
Xavier, like UConn, but honestly, like it's a whole other level. Like this, so many shots. Like and it's only 24 seconds on the shot clock, so
Yeah.
college is 30, so it's quicker. And then the guys are more talented, skilled, so like they're just coming down, shooting whatever, really. So it's quick, a lot of up and down, man, a lot of turnaround. So it's definitely faster in terms of that. And then like that's probably the only thing. Physicality, I mean, it's Big East was pretty physical, so like it wasn't really that big of a jump, but definitely the speed of the game. And then off the court, I mean, in the G League, man, you're on your own, really. Like I know in this college, like it's a lot of schedule stuff, like weights, class, practice, game. Like you on the schedule, and obviously we were scheduled too. Like, but a lot of the day, like we were off. Like we say we practice in the morning. Like when in the city, we would practice at like 11, maybe. Be done by like 1 or 2, and then you're done. Like it's no more class and no more
Mm.
and we didn't really necessarily have access to a gym either, because like we practiced. We had our own gym, but like they used it for events and stuff, like concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
So we didn't always have access to that. And then so we practiced at it's like a rec center basically. So we didn't always have that option to go there. So really, like after 2 o'clock, half the time we were done. So it was like, dang, what do I do now? And I was just playing the game, doing stuff like that. But and then when in Sacramento, we had our own gym, like all access and everything, practice gym, so we can go in there, whatever. So like after practice, we would practice even earlier, like at 9,
Yeah.
and practice be done like that. They practice fast over there. Practice be done by like 10:30, and then it's like, dang, what I do? So I just go back to the gym and get more shots up. But yeah, it's really on your own. Like and lifting, like the lifting, like optional. Like you don't have to do it. Like it was like in college is mandatory. So like I said, you're on your own. Like getting shots up, all that. Like you can text people, ask to help rebound, or whatever. But it's not really a schedule. Like you more so like what you want to do with whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's different though.
For real, for real. BFC, what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, the G League mindset is different. I remember,
Mm-hmm.
obviously a lot of Butler guys have gone that route, and I remember looking at like Keelan
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when he was playing for the Pelicans G League team, and he was just killing.
yeah, he was killing.
And I was like, how is this guy not getting called up? And then it's, there's the politics of it, like those
Thanks.
the last 3 spots on the NBA roster. A lot of it's like, all right, well, he's buddies with he's
Mm-hmm.
a star on the team, like stuff like that. So
Yeah.
how do you kind of keep locked in when there's a lot of kind of politics around it, just make sure you're focusing on your own game,
Mm-hmm.
focus on working hard. What's that kind of thought process like?
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like you said, it's very political. Like I said, I was playing, and then all of a sudden I wasn't, and it was not like I did something. It's just like that's just what it was. Like somebody's agent is more powerful, or they have more pull, or whatever the case may be. Somebody owes somebody a favor. It can go all type of ways. So just for me, especially just playing, not playing. I really didn't play that much this year. Just sitting out a lot of game. I never sat out did not get put into a game before. So like just experiencing that this year. For me, it was just like whatever's happening, like going on around me, I can't really control that. Control what you can control type of thing. So just coming to practice, work hard. Get your shots up. Come in later, get your shots up. Make sure you get enough rest, eating right, sleeping right. Whatever the case may be, just stay locked into your regimen, your routine, and you keep doing that. Like you'll be, blessed. You'll be, the benefits will come out eventually. So, and that's just that was my focus this year. Being my first year, just making sure I'm not worried so much about, oh, he's playing more than me, and I'm not getting in. I should be playing. Like obviously you're gonna be frustrated because I definitely was, but just no understanding that my time is coming. That's more so was my focus, just making sure I'm locked in. Because like you said, like the last 3 spots, those are for 2-way guys, and when the 2 ways get called down to the G League, they're gonna play. They're not coming out of the game. Like they're getting the NBA team was assigning them to play 40 minutes. Like they already know how many minutes they're getting, regardless of what they're doing on the court. And the same with like a draft pick that they actually pick. They're gonna get assigned. Like Devin Carter was with us in the Kings. He was at Providence. He got assigned. There's a few games he played with us. And he played 40 minutes, 40 those minutes. So just stuff like that. Like, and if you were playing and that guy is in your position, and he comes down, and you were playing, starting, whatever the case may be, just know that you may not get in that game if that 2-way or that assignment is in your position. Like, it's a possibility you're not gonna play. So, but just knowing that going into it, understanding that process, and just believing in yourself still, and just continue to have a routine. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, for sure. And then kind of what was the process like deciding to go? Because I feel like a lot of guys kind of have 2 routes to go. If they're not getting drafted, it's G League or going overseas. So did you
Yeah.
have overseas offers that you considered, or was it always kind of G League was going to be the path you took?
Yeah, man, I had offers overseas for sure. But I turned them down. Like I wanted to play in the G League, but it could have definitely went different. But I'm not necessarily against overseas. I just wanted to, try the G League out first, especially, being the first few years out, just, seeing what the experience is like. But, I'm definitely open to going overseas. Definitely because of the money. too, because G League you don't really get. And if you're not on the two-way or you're not on the training camp deal or E10 or something like that, then like you're basically making like nothing. Like it's a base salary. Like so they're trying to do better with like getting players more money, but like I think every year it increases a little bit, but it's still not much. So I can easily go overseas and get double that. So it's like it's cool. But I just wanted to more so experience the NBA thing. So but yeah.
Yeah, and it does kind of seem like a lot of guys will,
Mm-hmm.
go overseas and kind of get stuck a little bit. Whereas, the G League, I mean, you see guys getting called up and down kind of all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know we've definitely seen that with guys from Butler. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you watch Kamar play and you're like, how has he not gotten back to the NBA? And it's like, well, it's probably tougher when
Mm-hmm.
he's killing in Turkey and stuff like that. But it's tougher to make that kind
Right.
of transition. But
So maybe bringing it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, love hearing everything you're doing. Excited for your future.
Yeah. Appreciate
Yeah, good things coming your way, man. The thing I always appreciate about you was that, and the reason I always tell people that I think actually the person that coming into this year, the biggest loss, people are like, oh, DJ and Posh, they transfer. I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like, Jalen graduating was probably the biggest loss that we had because I thought you brought the energy at every game, which I always appreciated because
Yeah.
who doesn't love that, man? I mean, when you had that block in the Villanova game, man, and I swear,
Yeah.
I think I lost my voice in one scream. But let's bring it back a little bit to some of the Butler days. I mean, maybe just start off with that. What was maybe, one or two of your favorite memories now that you're done with your college career?
Mm-hmm.
The Georgia State days, cool, but let's stick to the Butler days. What was maybe like your favorite college memories or games that you played in?
Yeah, for sure. Man, you brought up one for sure, Villanova. That game was crazy, man. Because that was every time we played them, it was packed, sold out.
Yeah.
So that was a good. And then I got that block at the end because Dixon, probably one of the bigger guys in the country. So, and he averaged what like 25 this year or something. So like, just matching up with him in that game was crazy because he got me a couple of times. But just being able to get that block at the end of that game and I was screaming and stuff. So I like that game. That was a good game. And then I'll probably say two. I'll probably say Xavier when we beat them at home, my first year brother, and everybody stormed the court. I ain't never been part of no like rush, like court rush. So that was fun too. And then the Providence game when it was just Carter. They didn't have Oduro, and that was crazy too. When we at the end, me and Gusto, the dude tried to get me and Gusto went up. Yeah, that was lit too. That was fun.
The Xavier game that year, I think was like the game after the St. John's game where was that you? Was it you on the baseline? Were you the one that tipped
they got the tip. Yeah.
Okay, question. Did you tip it?
Yeah, no, I hit it. I barely touched it. I felt it though.
I watched that replay about 1,000 times. I'm like, look, I don't care. The score's over. We got the win. But I was like, man, I cannot tell if he touched that ball.
I barely hit it, man, because I remember it was like 0.8, I think.
Yeah.
And luckily I hit it, and then it started the clock, so we didn't even have any time. But I barely touched it, though. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now that you're done with like your college career and we don't have to, worry about anyone ever seeing this, who was like a guy that, there was a lot of bigs, especially in your year that were like some dudes. Like you already talked about Snogo and like, Soriano and then what's his face? Kalkbrenner, obviously, and all those guys. Who was maybe like one guy that like you looked at the mat, like you like saw him coming up and you're like, fuck, like, damn, I have to like, I mean, I know you're confident in your ability. I'm not saying that all, but just like one of those ones you're like, damn, like I have to do this. Like this is the guy I have to guard today.
Man, it was a lot of bigs, man.
Yeah.
It was a lot of bigs.
Yeah, Dixon too. Man, you guys had that was a big time with bigs.
Yeah, bigs. It's definitely about to regress. But
yeah,
I don't really know any. I know Sorber was good this year, and I don't really know. Kalkbrenner obviously was his last year. Dixon's last year. So I don't know who's about to beat it, but no, definitely. Man, there's a lot of bigs. Who's the toughest? Or I was like, probably Kalkbrenner, bro.
Yeah.
He's so because he's just so big. Pause. Like he was huge, bro. Like, and he's taller than me. He's long. He don't even have to jump that high to get to the basket. So And then he started hitting three. In one of the games, every time we played him, we was like, let him shoot. And then he made threes against us every time. So
Well,
definitely him.
yeah, that's what Creighton did to you too at the home game. I remember that. First half, it was like you
Yeah,
made like 4 3 or something like
yeah,
that. I was like, damn, all right.
yeah. I remember that. Yeah, facts.
We needed you to keep firing that game second half.
Yeah,
Um, but then sorry, a couple more. So do you still stay in contact with like Pierre and like some of those guys
yeah,
in
I was
Cleveland?
talking to him. I was talking to him all year. Pierre's at home right now. You know, he's from Michigan, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's here now. I talked to Ja. I know he's in Cali training for the league. I know Gusto went to Ole Miss. I talked to him still.
Yeah.
And Bowden, Finn. Yeah, I talked to everybody pretty much.
Do you like when you're going through like,
Hmm.
okay, you're going G League and stuff like that, like do you ever talk to any of them about like I mean, obviously you have an agent and you have everything, but like do you guys ever think like, oh, we could both go play here or something like that? Or is that just like go do
Yeah.
your thing?
uh, I talked to I talked to Pierre about. He asked me about what I was going to do next year, and I know Ja's going to try to probably end up in the G League too. That's not necessarily like linking up, but I definitely
Right.
like talk to them. I know Pa's trying to go overseas too,
Yeah.
and, so yeah, that would be cool. I will. I did. I will say I have thought about it, like possibly end up somehow on the same team,
Yeah.
with somebody that would be cool for sure. I wish. I hope it happens.
Yeah, that'd be sick. And then that actually kind of brought to another question, which was just like, so
Mhm.
this year, so Butler's gonna have like a brand new team. I mean, we still have Finn. By the
Yeah,
way, last year, man, he popped off. That was crazy. I don't know if you saw some of those games. Like the second half of the season, he just like, I'm
I
just gonna
saw
fire.
I saw the 30 piece against Boise.
Yeah, dude, he's
Yeah,
just firing. It's
He was
crazy.
a problem. Like right
Yeah,
when big play started, he was a problem.
yeah, he became a problem.
he was
But
super.
like we got a whole brand new team. Like obviously Ja, Pierre,
Mhm.
Dre all graduated. P Mac was there for a year, graduated. Bowden's at Boston College now.
Yeah,
Everyone's pretty much like gone except for like Finley and then Jamie Kaiser, who was the year after you. So you would wait,
yeah.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
he was hurt. I know he
yeah,
was hurt.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
Mhm.
so the question kind of was from like one of the fans was like, obviously when you got there was a pretty big like change for Butler, right? Like your second year, especially,
Yeah.
it was pretty much like everyone left. Like what was kind of like the process like for you guys, like getting to be a unit in a team because you guys actually had I know like it's faltered a little bit towards the end, but like
He was
you guys
right
had a
there.
pretty good you guys had a pretty good year like overall like it was a fun year. Like
Yeah.
what did you guys do to become like one as a unit when you have like that many different people coming in?
Well, you talking about my second year when we got all the
Yeah,
transfers?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it was basically you and like Connor came back and like everyone else was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was crazy. But I
yeah,
already knew like half those guys were leaving. Like
yeah,
I knew 12 Tate was leaving. I knew one with uh Chuck Chuck said he might, and then he ended up leaving. C-Mouse was the only one like I didn't know he was leaving, but everybody else I knew was gone.
yeah,
But yeah, just coming in, I was the main catalyst for all that, man. I was going all the dinners, and I was every time they was on a visit, I had to be with them basically.
yeah,
So like, me and Ali really, and then he ended up leaving last minute. But yeah, I was there for Ja, I was there for Pierre. Well, I already knew Pierre a little bit, so that was easy. And I was there for Dre, all of them. But yeah, we just clicked, man. It was a good group of guys. Like you said, we was like they had us in the tournament like until like we had like that 5 game stretch
yeah,
where we played like UConn, Creighton, Marquette. It was crazy,
yeah,
but yeah, nah, it was a good thing. We just jailed, man. We were in the locker room like late at night after practice. Like we would stay in there and talk. We would go out on the weekend. Well, not more so me, but they would go out. I would go out sometimes, but
yeah,
yeah, it was good. We just had a good group, man. We just clicked with each other. We talked to each other all the time. Always jokes and laughs and all that. So it was easy, really. So like, after everybody like confirmed they were coming, it wasn't much longer before we were like locked in. And we had to do some stuff that summer too, like we had some military camp we had to go through and just stuff like that, different bonding moments where it made it easier to, connect with everybody. So I feel like it was easy just dealing with those guys and, made lifelong friendships,
yeah.
so I'm still cool with everybody. So
That's for sure. BFC, you got anything else, man?
Yeah, I think one big thing that obviously you coming as a transfer would this was would know this well. I think Thad has a way, even if the team's struggling, it seems like he stays being the kind of a player's coach.
Yeah,
You know, stay locked in. What is it about him and the culture that he builds that has players that look like they're enjoying themselves, look like they enjoy playing for him?
yeah, man. Thad's a character, very positive guy, man. He just gives you a lot of confidence, regardless. Like he always says, shoot when you're open. Like he says it to everybody. Even Dre took some threes this year, I think. I saw, but he tells yeah, he tells everybody like, shoot, 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 like confident, like be confident. Like he's always positive. Like even when we're losing, he always says like we're right there. You know, this is our game. We're gonna win this game. He'd come in the locker room so many times at halftime and say that, whether we were down 10 or down 20, like he would say that. So he's always positive. And, I love that, and that's a great guy. And like I said, he was always rooting for us, and regardless of the situation, and he always blamed himself in the losses. We'd be like, Coach, like, no, it's on us. Like, we gotta be better. And he'd be trying to take the blame for it. So he's a great players coach for sure.
And then who on the staff have you gotten any advice from guys on the staff? Obviously Barlow
Yeah,
coached the league for a while, so he has kind of a good sense of it.
yeah,
Did any coaches give you advice kind of going into that transition?
yeah. I was talking to Big East, Barlow, Diebler, even Greg. They all was just like making themselves available to me, making sure I knew that I had them in my corner. So, but I talked to them for sure about just doing what I did, and um, they were more so leaning towards like overseas. But granted, like they like knew, I guess, especially Barlow, he knew like what the G League was like because he was obviously a coach. So like they were, they talked to me though, but in the end, I still made the decision I did. But they all helped me in the process for sure. They all made themselves available. So yeah, I had a conversation with them for sure.
For sure. And I think, one thing I remember, I think it was Jeremy Lin said,
Mm-hmm.
the G League mentality can be kind of crazy because it's
Oh yeah, I saw it.
more like playing. A lot of guys are playing for themselves, like trying to just kill.
Yeah,
How
thanks.
do you like kind of balance that of like
Mm-hmm.
proving yourself? You're trying. Your stats really matter when teams are looking at you, but also
Yeah,
you want
thanks.
to win. You're still playing. You're still playing in the league. You want to win. How do you kind of balance that, or did you see that as a struggle for some guys?
Um, Man, yeah, it's definitely rough, guys. Just trying to, because you got to get stats to be seen, especially get called up. So, um, I definitely saw guys struggle because sometimes I was, like I said, with the Bulls, we weren't that good, and there definitely was times where there's a little selfish play going on. But the main thing is like obviously, like the NBA team, they don't care about you winning in the G League. Like they don't care if you win it or not. They just want to see like how you producing. So like it is definitely tough to balance that, but at the same time, me personally, I always want to win. So it's cool to be selfish for sure. So like, not really nothing against that, but like at the end of the day, you got to make the right plays, got to make the right decisions. So like, it's definitely hard to balance though, just because you have to do something in order to get to the next level. But I feel like in the end, if as long as you're playing hard, you're going all out. I feel like you're gonna end up playing the right way anyways, and you're playing for each other in a way. I know you, like you said, you're playing for yourself, but like if you care about the teammates to a certain extent, I feel like in Sacramento, that's why we won. Like we was connected locker room. I got there late, so but I saw like how everybody would interact with each other, like off the court. Like that's probably the closest group of guys I've seen. Like I integrated myself in that kind of, but like I said, I was late. So, but just seeing how they interacted with each other and how everybody just connected, and it was you would have thought that team been together for years when it was their first year together. So it's possible, playing together and not being selfish. So it's definitely possible, and that's what wins. That's when you game. So yeah,
So speaking, just one more thing here, and then we can wrap it up. But
yeah,
so obviously we got the TBT coming up,
yeah.
which I'm a huge fan of. I mean, last year was. Were you at Hinkle during it last year or no?
I seen it though. I watched the games.
Okay, yeah. So it was as a fan, it was like surreal. Like
Yeah,
it was like every generation of Butler like in one building at the same time, which just like never happens. Like I'm watching like Gordon Hayward coach, like Keelan Martin and Tyler Weidman are standing watching to the side. Like it's Sheldon Mack out there. Like it's just like crazy like hodgepodge of like great like bunch of different Butler players and Butler greats. Obviously, as I said, I love watching you play. So can we expect to see Jalen Thomas on the court anytime in Hinkle for TBT?
Can we expect to see? It's possible. Definitely in the works. I'm working. I gotta see though. But I mean, I definitely will. If like I said, if I don't see myself going to Summer League, I will be there because it's such a long pause between seasons. So I'll definitely be. I'll be in Hinkle for sure, and I gotta bring the fans some type of championship. Got to do something.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, sir. That last year being the first one for Butler was fun. Like it was really fun. But I mean, let's be honest. Like we brought back like a bunch of the old guys. Like we brought back like Sheldon Mack. We brought back Rodney Clark. Like, and I love those guys. They are great players. But they're old like me. They're like old people. Like we're old. We're 30s, but we're old. So like it would be cool to get like because like Tyler Weidman's committed to playing, Sean McDermott committed to playing, and they're both like still play overseas. So like they still are playing. So it would be cool to get like an actual squad together, like that could like do some damage.
What they lost what game? Second one?
Second one, yeah. They lost to it, but that was like what team was that again? BFC. They had like a bunch of Kentucky players. No, they had
it was
they had a few guys. They had some dudes still on that team.
They had like they had like 9 guys still playing pro.
Yeah, it was like a legit squad. I can't remember who was on the team, but we got wrecked. Yeah.
Who was it?
I can't. I can't remember. I'll find it out for you afterward. But I can't remember who it was. I do remember the
first game. Yeah, I saw that.
The first game we beat Kyle Guy's team, which was just a bunch of guys, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. I hope to get you back on the court, man, because I know Butler Nation would love to see you back out in Hinkle again. But
sure.
BSD, you got anything else, man?
No, that's it. Yeah, we lost to Eberlean Drive.
Yeah, they ended up going far too.
Oh yeah,
I think they beat the IU team or the Purdue team, whoever won that.
They beat the maybe the Purdue team. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they beat one of them.
That was at Hinkle too, I think.
Yeah.
That game.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway. So Jay, appreciate you hopping on, man. Again, it's always fun to catch up with you and hear what's going on with some former dogs, man. Hey, good luck to you. Good luck to you next year. With everything you're doing. Again, I know Butler Nation, super excited to see what you got going on in the future, whether that's here overseas. And obviously we hope to see you in the TBT, man. But I appreciate you hopping on and good luck with everything.
Yeah, man, appreciate y'all, man. Thanks.